guys, I am Jackie and welcome back to my channel. So first I wanted to say I'm really sorry about all the crazy backgrounds that I have been recording on lately. My usual place is kind of a mess right now because my house is in the process of getting completely packed up. I will get more into that later. I can't quite share details with you yet, but I will very soon. So, Michelle from A Common Life tagged me in the large family tag. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. So let's get started. Right now we have just our boys. We have 3 boys and we are also licensed foster parents. So we have taken up to 2 extra children at a time. Currently, we don't have any foster children in our home right now because we are in the process of moving. Again, I'll get into that later. Well, our sons are 14, 12, and 4. The 4-year-old, I swear, is 16 at sometimes. Anyways. I was 17 years old when I got pregnant. I had him when I was 18 years old. My husband and I were very, very young. We definitely do not regret, obviously, what happened. He is an amazing young man who has taught us so many things. No, obviously our first son was not planned. We definitely don't regret him, like I said, but he was not a planned pregnancy. As for the other 2, yes, they were planned. My middle son, we didn't have any issues getting pregnant with him. But as for my youngest, there's actually a 7-year gap between him and the middle guy. So when we decided we wanted to have another one, I was ready. My husband wasn't ready. Then he was ready and I wasn't ready. And then finally we were both ready, but it took 2 years to be able to conceive him. So that was really hard on us. I get crazy reactions all the time. I know I only have 3 boys right now, but when we did have our foster kids with us and we were out doing things, we would get, I kid you not, guys, people were weird. People are so weird when they see large families. I guess it's not a weird thing when I see that, but maybe that's because, I don't know, that's what I want. When my oldest son is with me, he is mistaken all the time for my brother, so that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of funny. But we do get comments like, oh my gosh, are these all your kids? You look so young. There's no way they could be yours. Yes, they are mine. Well, I'm the type of person who, whatever. I just brush it off my shoulder. Honestly, it doesn't affect me in the slightest bit. The only time that I will interject and say something back really is if they have spoken to my children and are rude. I will step in. But if this comment is towards me, honestly, I just ignore them. Whatever, it really doesn't mean anything. My life's my life, their life's their life. It doesn't affect me any at all. Currently, we spend about $1,000 a month to feed a family of 5. I know that seems a little high, but our middle son was diagnosed with celiac disease, and because of that, he is unable to have gluten. So for any of you who do not know what celiac disease is, it means his body cannot handle gluten in it. It makes him very, very ill. So we have to be completely gluten-free at our home. There cannot be any type of contamination between our foods. So with that comes some pretty hefty price tags. So yes, we do spend way more than we probably could or should, but that is because we need some special products out there. Yes, we do. I am actually unable to have any more biological children, so we are actually looking to adopt. We have been foster parents for about a year right now. Our license is closing because obviously It doesn't go state to state. Again, more on that later, but we are looking to adopt. I'm not sure if that's going to mean through the foster care system or if we're looking into private adoption. We are going to just kind of explore options and see where it leads us. We have been looking into this and wanting to do this since we met, and you know, we're ready. I don't know how many children that means that we will end up adopting, but just bring them on. I want more. Well, we drive a Ford Expedition. I absolutely love it. It seats 8. I have lots of room in it. You guys are gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh. When my husband and I were married, we jokingly created this clause that we would never own a minivan. Ever. Like, ever, 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 ever. And so 14 years later, we still do not own a minivan. I've brought it up a couple times because, well, they fit a lot of kids in them, right? And he always reminds me, nuh-uh, remember, we signed a clause. We really didn't, but it's just something funny. So anyways, we are SUV people. Unfortunately, no, we do not eat out anymore. We used to, but after my son was diagnosed a year ago with celiac disease, we are unable to eat out. I know there are a lot of restaurants that do carry gluten-free meals, but the problem with celiac is the contamination. It needs to be cooked in a completely gluten-free environment and kitchen. It cannot be processed with the same products that have wheat or gluten in it at all, so we don't even take the chance to dine out anymore, as it can really make our son very ill. Currently, where we live, there are no gluten-free restaurants that do have that great gluten-free kitchen, so I'm hoping that later on that we will be able to find something, because it is a treat and we do miss it, and I know he does as well. Ooh, we are huge milk people. At least my kids and I are. My husband does not like milk, but we go through about 4 gallons a week. I know that's a lot, but we love our milk. We really like our milk. Whew. You sure you guys want to know? Okay, so I have 3 boys and my husband. We go through 3 rolls a day. And I'm not talking about like those little teeny weeny itty bitty rolls. I'm talking about like those huge rolls of toilet paper. You know, the ones that you put on the roll and it like touches the side of the wall and you can barely like unroll it. Yeah, those are the rolls that we use, and we go through 3 a day. Yeah. Anyways, I would definitely, hands down, have to say breakfast. You can never go wrong with breakfast. We love to make breakfast. We eat it actually quite often throughout the week for, well, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. We are huge breakfast eaters. Okay, so I make sure to make it a priority to do that at least minimum once a week with them. I would prefer to do more, but sometimes, you know, guys, life happens and we get really busy, and so once a week is what we normally do. Now, that doesn't mean that I actually take them physically out anywhere. Sometimes that happens and that's an extra special treat, but one-on-one time for me means like that I'm spending time doing something that they love. So for my oldest son, I will sit down and play video games with him. Him and I share that love together, so we really enjoy doing that. My middle son likes to play games, so I will sit down one-on-one with him, and it would, you know, we just play a ton of games. And then my youngest, he loves to read. So on top of our everyday reading, we will actually snuggle up, you know, in bed and read a ton of books, just him and I. So that is what I like to do, is, you know, do something with them that they enjoy. And then, like I said, we do take them out occasionally for, you know, a fun treat or a fun, you know, mom-son date. I hate clutter. I absolutely hate it. I swear. You know, every house has those little hot spots. Mine does too. And it just attracts so much and it just drives me up the wall. So how do I manage it? Well, we have chores that we do every single day, like vacuum and sweeping. Those are done daily. That really helps minimize the clutter in those specific rooms. And then when we are finished with our schoolwork, we do a, 10-15 minute pickup, and everybody is required to just find, it doesn't matter if it belongs to them or not, you pick it up and we get it taken care of. So that really helps as well. We also do an extra pickup right before my husband gets home. And that, doing all of that, it really, minimizes the clutter that we have in the house. Well, those of you who already watch my channel know that I am a homeschool mama, and I have been homeschooling for 5 years now, and I absolutely love it. I do give my boys an option every single year if they want to continue homeschooling or if they would like to go into the public school. So I don't want to take that away from them, but right now that is something that they do not want to do. So we are going to just continue on, and I really hope that we will make it through our our high school years. That's something that I would love to do. That's a really funny question. Being a mother of 3 boys, very rowdy, obnoxious, and chaotic boys, chaos is going to happen. How do I manage it? Can you really manage chaos? Like, if you can, will you let me know how you do it? Because I'm sorry, my house is always chaotic. Somebody is always running around the house, bouncing off the walls. It's just, I don't know, am I immune to it? Do I just not notice that stuff anymore? I don't know. I have no clue. I make sure to give myself free time every single day. That does not mean that I go out of the house to have my free time. I would love to do that on a weekly, monthly basis or whatever, but some guys, that's not even possible. It really is not even possible. So for my free time that I do every single day, that means that mommy goes into her room and shuts the door and just takes a breather, whether that be to drink my coffee in peace, catch up on some YouTube videos, or sneak a part of my Netflix show that I'm watching. That is just something that I need to do to just kind of rejuvenate for the day and just take a breather. So that is honestly what I do every single day for myself, and I try to do it at least, take 15 minutes out of the day to do that, because mama needs to be happy. And that will move me into the very last question. One thing that I've always been taught is, if mom has a bad attitude or is having a bad day, everybody in the house is going to have a bad day. Am I right? At least that's how it is at our house. So my number one tip is attitude. Attitude. No, of course I don't want to get up out of bed all the time or do the dishes, but if I do it with a willing attitude, my children are going to see that, and they are also going to have a good attitude about things. So, you hear the famous saying, if, mom's not happy, the house isn't happy. And it's really true. It really is true. So I just encourage you to find happiness in everything throughout the day, no matter what life throws at you. It's all about the way that you handle things with your attitude. So I hope that you have enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe if you want to see more. Until next time.